Hi there, good afternoon. This is Your Stocks. This is a show where we answer all your stock and investment related queries. I'm Mangla Malu. With me as always, Sumera Abdi, and we'll be joined by experts to answer your queries. But before we do that, a check on the markets. It's an interesting day of trade because while the Nifty Bank as well as the Sensex are in the green, Nifty Bank outperforming, mid-cap indices underperforming. A lot of these stocks, they're having wayward movements. We have Yes Bank up 10% as we speak. Sharp short covering rally out there at the high point of the day. And Z Entertainment Enterprises, that's the one that should come up for you. Opened very weak and now has recovered around 20 to 23% from the lows. Currently at the high point of the day, sitting with a gain of about 5%. And from the mid-cap end of things, it's the pharmaceutical stocks which are taking a sharp knock. We have Aurobindo Pharma and Glenmark sitting with cuts of 18 and 13% each respectively. So suffice to say, it is a day of wayward movements in individual stocks, while the frontline indices absolutely flat. Hi Sumera.
Hi Mangalam, good afternoon. So let's get started. First up, we'll take you through all our top stories. Market is off the day's high. Sensex and Nifty trade with modest gains. Private banks lead the gains, but heavyweights like ITC and L&T drag. Nifty Bank shines, but the mid-cap index underperforms.
Nifty Bank recovers from early lows, largely pulled up by HDFC Bank after the bank reports good growth numbers for the second quarter. NBFC stocks, though, continue to struggle as RBI data reveals a bleak picture of the credit flow to commercial sector.
Z shares see a massive intraday recovery after the promoters disclosed pledge creation on 10.71% equity with VTB Capital. Yes Bank shares rise on hopes of PE fund infusion.
FDA woes continue to haunt pharmaceutical companies. Oro shares slump after the company receives 8 observations for Unit 7, while Glenmark Pharma also under pressure after their Baddi plant receives a warning letter from the US FDA.
And it's a victory for RA activists. The Supreme Court says no for felling of trees. Maharashtra government gives an undertaking to follow the orders of the Apex Court. All right, let's straight away get to a CNBC-TV18 exclusive. We learned from sources that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will chair a high-level meet to finalize India's stand on Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, or the RCEP, today. Timsi Jaipuria joins in with the details. Timsi.
Well, as you rightly said, government sources are indicating right now that Prime Minister Narendra Modi today itself in the evening at 5 p.m. will chair a high-level meeting with all the ministers, including Home Minister, Finance Minister, and Commerce Minister and MOS Commerce, that is Piyush Goyal and Hardeep Singh Puri, along with External Affairs Minister, to decide India's final stand on RCEP. Very clearly on Friday, as we had alerted, there was a meeting chaired by Amit Shah, which was a precursor meeting to today's meeting to finalize what India should take forward as its stand in the RCEP. So let's see what happens finally when the meet happens today in the evening, because today it will be almost finalized as PM himself is chairing this meeting. Let's see what are the final contours, what will be India's stand after this meeting is what will be decided.
Timsi, thanks a lot for that. So this is something that we will definitely keep an eye out on, as PM himself will be chairing this meeting. But this is a time where we answer all your stock and investment related queries. So let's welcome both Kiran Jadhav as well as Garan Shah to answer your queries. Straight on to the first one, we have Mr. A. Raghunath, who calls us from New Delhi. Mr. Raghunath, tell us.
You see, I have two shares, which is HDFC Bank and HDFC Limited.
Right.
Both I have about 5,000 in number.
Okay.
So I bought it about 4 or 5 years back.
Okay.
I can hold it for the next 10 years. But seeing the past performance, I have found that HDFC Bank has outperformed HDFC Limited. So my query is whether should I switch from HDFC Limited to HDFC Bank, and I can hold it for the next 10 years.
All right, that is quite pertinent. First up, we'd like to congratulate you for holding on to your investments for a very long time. And when they talk about the bluest of the blue chips, it has to be HDFC Limited as well as HDFC Bank. You've made 85 lakh rupees on your investments. So let's go across to Gaurang first and ask him if he really has any advice to give to you. Gaurang, he's bought the best companies. He can hold it for the next 10 years. He's made a lot of money. The only conundrum, whether he should buy HDFC or HDFC Bank, that's a good problem to have, I think.
Thanks, Mangalam, and good afternoon to all of you all. So, firstly, a disclosure: we have buy coverage on both HDFC Limited as well as HDFC Bank. Two different, areas of sectorally speaking. One is the leading private sector bank, and the other one is the leading housing finance company. Well, he is worried that he has made more return in HDFC Bank compared to HDFC Limited. But, as a fundamental analyst, we always advise that you should not put all your eggs in one basket, despite the fact that it is one of the niche and marquee names, HDFC Bank as well as HDFC Limited. I would definitely advise him to continue to hold on, despite the fact that he's making super phenomenal returns on both his investments. But fundamentally speaking, you should not put all your eggs in one basket. So you are good with both. I would request you to continue with your investment in both.
Okay, Mr. Raghunath, that's the advice for you. Pretty simple. Continue with both. Up next, Ramesh M has written to us from Mumbai. He has 1,500 shares of Yes Bank at 250 since 6 months. He's a medium-term investor and wants to know what to do. So from, having someone call us who had a good problem, we now have somebody writing to us who has a very bad problem. Garan, your advice to this viewer?
A difficult one, Sumera, and given the kind of price correction and the capital getting eroded, well, I must say this: we had a buy coverage a while back, but then we have changed it to reduce. So I will continue with that same view, despite the fact that he is making a huge knock as far as pure capital, his investment is concerned. The only silver lining that I can point out over here, Sumera, is that that stake sale that happened of the earlier promoter. Remains to be seen how soon the earnings turn around, and if we have to go by the management commentary, our back of the envelope calculation that it may take another 3 quarters or maybe more for any kind of improvement to happen in earnings. Well, you are stuck with a stock which has been underperforming and has been surrounded by negative news flows. So use rallies to lighten up the counter. If I have to point one alternative investment idea in the private sector category, then I think Federal Bank would be a preferred choice.
Right, Federal Bank would be a preferred choice. You make some, you lose some. That was the story of our previous two viewers. But, Kiran, would you like to comment on Yes Bank? What's your view? He bought it at 250 rupees. Do you think there's a slightest chance of him getting back his capital at least? Or maybe he'll have to sell it at a loss?
Well, Mangalam, very good afternoon to you. But basically, looking at the charts, I think 250 is pretty difficult for now. There are no trend reversal signs, and this is the current rally that we're seeing. I should say a rally or just a pullback from a level of 30 to 46. This is just a pullback rally, is what I believe. There's no trend reversal price pattern in the making, and till the time we really don't make a trend reversal price pattern, I would just term this as a pullback rally. And I believe that selling here does not make sense. He has seen most of the pain all these years. I would just suggest to implement a trading stop loss which should be placed at 38 at current levels, and as the stock moves up further, he should keep the stop loss rising from current levels. So 38 is the stop loss level that he should implement for now.
All right, let's take a very quick break, come back in a bit and answer some more queries. But as we take a break, here's a look at the top stories on Money Control Pro today. Consumer confidence.